welcome to In Frame. This is our debut episode. Bear with us as we work out the kinks. We're going to come to you today with a one-camera shoot, which we will be changing in the future as soon as some of our equipment arrives in the mail that we've been expecting. I am Lazarus Hawk.
I'm Jeremy Hall.
And we are Rising Fire Productions. What we'd like to talk about today is the location that has been granted to us to use for this show, Black Lodge Video. Black Lodge Video has been around for 13 years now. They established themselves with the intention of becoming the best possible video library for films in the community and in the long run, possibly the world. Matt Martin has done a fantastic job of collecting films that would otherwise be unfindable. You can come in here, you can discuss with Matt Martin just about any aspect of film or filmmaking, and you will get an answer that is educated over time and experience with many productions and many movies. I'd like to add that Black Lodge Video is also a personal favorite place of mine in Memphis. Matt has offered a currently single shelf to the community at large here in Memphis to bring their own films. The intention behind that being that he would create a library of independent and local cinema. And in 13 years, I don't know that that shelf has grown, but maybe an inch or two. So I urge all of the filmmakers out there to please bring your films to Black Lodge Video. They will be preserved for all time and posterity for people to see in the future. If you're going to take the time to make this art, take the time to put it someplace where people will be able to see it when you are gone. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I haven't been, just recently just started coming to Black Lodge with me living in a different state. It's just always a little bit harder to come down here, but I do venture down here, and Matt's always been great about helping me out with films that I want to see that I've never seen, getting to look at some of my favorite directors, because here they have them all. They have a lot of them by directors, so it's a great place to come, pick up a video, and just, Matt's a wealth of knowledge about film. I mean, for any of my films, I come in and go, hey, I need damaged lead actress, and he just walks up to a shelf and grabs it. So it is a great place, and we do urge the independent filmmakers in this town and to bring your films in, to let everybody in this town see the films that you've been doing and grow the aspect of the independent artist here in Memphis to be able to have their movies seen. Like you said, if you're gonna make it, you're gonna spend money and time doing it, might as well have people see it.
Absolutely. Now, our intention was to actually talk with Matt Martin today, but as you can see behind us, he is fast at work. Even in a business like this, ultimately, it is a business, and he has movies that have not been brought back. He has customers that call him on the phone demanding time, and as I understand it, like all of us in Memphis lately, one way or another we've caught some sort of bug, and he's not really feeling up to the interview I want to conduct. So in the future, we will be doing a very focused show on the history of Black Lodge. I will do my best to do a quick rundown as best I know it. As I said, they've been here, they're now into their 13th year. They opened October 30th, 2000 was his opening night, right before Halloween. I imagine for him at that time it was rather nerve-wracking. You have no idea if you're going to sink or swim. You don't know how much of the community is going to support you. You don't know how many people are really going to understand the business you're trying to put together. And I think that Matt has done a fantastic job over time. As you said, he keeps his collection separated by directors. He keeps his collection separated by genres to some degree. This is a place where you don't just come and rent a movie. You can do that, you can take it home and you can enjoy it. But this is a library.
It's an education.
And an educational experience. You can come in and you can study the work of a given director. You can see over time how that director grew and changed, how he altered the way he worked according to different actors and actresses he worked with, how the times changed the films they made. whether it's Terry Gilliam, Stanley Kubrick, David Lynch, and or any other director you can name, even up to Steven Spielberg.
Well, I mean, me and Sarah, my wife, we've started on the Kubrick. Started
Absolutely.
watching all of the films from his very beginning on up.
Now,
And
did you start with The Killing?
I did.
Was that Matt Martin's suggestion? Or
No, it was just one that we came in and was browsing around. I was like, I'm gonna watch this. I mean, I knew it was his first film, and fantastic film. Everything I expected, from that director.
And again, that's the beautiful thing. If you don't know what was Stanley Kubrick's first film, and many people won't. Many people, they'll know the work that was famous or that won Oscars or 2001, Clockwork Orange,
Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket. They're going to know the big ones. But you can come in here, you can find Stanley Kubrick's name on a shelf, and the movies will be laid out in order, from his first film to his last film, so that you can really follow that progression. The name Black Lodge Video comes out of David Lynch's television show, The Twin Peaks, created with Mark Frost and airing in the, I believe it premiered in the 90. It might have been 89, but I believe it premiered in 1990. Famous quote from that, of course, is where I've taken some of my inspiration in using the element of fire. Through the darkness of futures past, the magician longs to see one way out between two worlds. Fire, walk with me. The Black Lodge itself, in context of the show, was sort of a non-place, a mysterious world where dark things inhabited the confines thereof. And taking his inspiration from that show, Matt named this place Black Lodge. It's covered in, as you can see if you look around you, it's covered in the red velvety cloth that is synonymous with the environment in the show, and a number of ironic occurrences in his search for a place to start his business. The intersection we are sitting on is in Midtown Memphis, and it happens to be the corner of Cooper and Evelyn. Both names appear as characters in Twin Peaks. When he moved the lodge here, the business across the street was Palmer Brothers. I believe it was a legal firm or a real estate firm. I can't remember fully. Palmer is, of course, the family name of a number of the characters in the Twin Peaks production. So kind of almost immediately, he had a certain synergy with the name of his business, the placement of his business, and being a place where mystery abounds in film and in often the characters that roll through this place. People like us, other filmmakers, musicians, they're all attracted to Lodge. He's really established a strong identity in town. Pretty much everybody out there is aware of Black Lodge Video. Some people may not know where it is for whatever unfortunate reason. Again, I highly urge everybody out there, whether you're just a fan of film or you are a filmmaker, to find Black Lodge Video in Midtown at the corner of Cooper and Evelyn and talk to Matt Martin. Ask him questions. His information, his knowledge from watching and experiencing film can help you become a better filmmaker. As Jamie said, he guided him on specific character choices as he was developing characters for one of his productions. Through conversations I have had with Matt, he has helped me look at different productions I have undertaken differently or more thoroughly in one way or another. Everything I do, I try to bring in here, and I have a private screening with Matt to get his input, to get his take on what it is, because he is so well versed in what has been produced and what is out there as art. So, Matt, on behalf of everybody, I don't know where he's gone at the moment.
He's in the
disappeared
back.
On us. I just want to thank Matt Martin for undertaking such a thing, to providing a library like this to us, to being there and available to provide information to us about the films that he possesses. His knowledge really is instant.
there's been tons of video stores through the years. You know, you've had your Blockbusters, your Cinemovies, and you know, your mom and pop stores over the years. And with, you know, VOD becoming more popular these days, and red boxes and everything like that, it's very an impersonal kind of thing, because you don't have somebody there, you know, to kind of explain something for you. You know, if you want to know who somebody is that did the film and know a little bit more about what they've done in film, you don't have that with those kind of things. With Black Lodge, you do have that. You have somebody that you can come to and talk to and go, what did you think about this film? And, you know, you're going to get a lot more than just what do you think about this film. You're going to get an education on the film.
I remember when we brought both Cold Blooded and The Bag in here and screened them with Matt. It wasn't just, I like it, I don't like it. It wasn't just, I like the lighting or the sound or whatever else. He really broke it down, and in my conversation with him about The Bag, he talked about the editing style, he talked about the lighting, he talked about the character, the shot angles. I mean, he really understands every aspect of a film. He has studied some of the greatest. Like you, like myself, he is a huge fan of Rod Serling and The Twilight Zone, and Alfred Hitchcock as well, of course. And both of those men really understood how to write for the screen, and then how to take what they'd written and create something that works on screen. And, you know, Psycho is often the example I go to, as it is with you, where there are some scenes in Psycho where very little to nothing is happening. Norman has brought the woman a sandwich, but there's an ominous undertone, and it comes from the lighting, it comes from the shot angles, it comes from the actors, either as actors understanding or through Hitchcock's direction, understanding how to move in and out of those shadows as they are delivering their dialogue, their timing. These are all things that when Matt watches even an independent production, he looks for. He will notice if they're there, he will see if they are not. He will be honest with you. He will not coddle to you because you are a friend, and he will not berate you because he does not know who you are. He will take the production and look at it honestly as a fan of film, a viewer of films, and someone whose knowledge of cinema is immense.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is true, because when we did premiere The Bag and Cold Blooded, you know, with Cold Blooded being my first short film here in this area, Matt walked up to me and told me, he says, "It's a great film. You know, there's nothing that's quite like that around here, but I want to talk to you about some things." And I was like, good, you know, because I honor, you know, I looked for that opinion that he has, because everybody has told me about Matt and how, you know, how the way that he is with the way that he talks to people about their films and so forth. And one of the first things that he said to me was, "What would you do differently?" And I was, you know, I was quick to, you know, I wasn't defensive about it or anything, and I knew the spots where I wanted, that I could have done things differently. And he's, you know, I could see, you know, that was one of the places that I was wondering. So he does have an eye for those kind of things, and it, you know, with the way that the film community is here in Memphis, it's necessary to have something like that.
Absolutely.
For somebody that's not going to be critical of you, but is the opposite of critical. He's here to see people want to...
It's constructive.
It's constructive criticism, exactly.
And I want to pick up on that. While we're discussing Cold Blooded, I want to go ahead and do a small cutaway and show the trailer, which many of you have already seen. And I want to reiterate that throughout this show, of course, the only things we have to show you are Rising Fire Productions and Rising Fire Creations. We are asking all filmmakers and film community people in the Memphis area and further, regionally even, to please get in contact with us. Send us links, send us videos, whatever you might have. We want to promote the work you are doing. We want to promote the work we are doing just as well, but we aren't trying to raise ourselves above anybody. We want to create a community where we all encourage each other to be better and stronger than our last production. When we go into our next one, we go in having learned something, having grown as artists. So please send us links, send us videos, send us clips, send us requests to be on this show. This show will come to you live every Sunday. We will post the recorded shows on the Fridays that follow, and new ones on Sundays again. We will need guests. We want to promote you. Please join us. Give us your material. With that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut away and show you the Cold-Blooded trailer by Jamie Hall.
You don't want to use your tongue? Let's remove it. That's it! Your tongue's mine! Wakey, wakey, Michelle. That's right, Gary. Your buddy's here with you, too. I get to prove my point to you both. Ever seen someone's eyes when they're wide from fear, from pain? You're evil. What are you about?
That was Cold-Blooded trailer, at least sort of. I have to apologize. As I said, this is our first show, and we're still working out some of the bugs and still figuring out how some of the things are going to work out once we have this live broadcast running. Some of our videos are going to be picking up in the midpoints of some of their clips because Ustream has a function that kind of picks it up where you checked it. So I apologize again. We'll let some of the videos loop so you actually can get to see the whole thing, and we'll come back to the Cold-Blooded trailer again before we end the show. Before we did go to Cutaway, we were discussing how Matt Martin is very constructive and willing to discuss with a filmmaker every aspect of his or her production. I wanted to add that he, as we were discussing, he's very constructive about this. There's no bitterness to this. His goal for Black Lodge is to create a library. He has put out an all call and has told people, good, bad, or even horrible, bring your movies into Lodge. Put them on his shelves. People may or may not rent them, but they will be here available for people to see. Matt will tell people about them. He will promote them to the best of his ability and let people know that they exist. That having been said, talking to the filmmaker, Matt's goal is to make you a better filmmaker. He doesn't want horrible films. He wants good films, and he wants local people making good films. So as a filmmaker, I think he is an essential tool to our community. Someone who we can trust to give us honest criticism, honest feedback, because he wants the art to be successful, not just the artist. He would like to see each individual artist grow so that that art can become better.
I mean, everything that you said I'm in agreement with. It's very important as filmmakers to be able to get any of your movies that you've done, whether they be short, 5, 10, 15-minute long shorts or a full feature. In this community, and in this industry, you have to get your thing seen because you never know the next person that sees it might be that person that wants to do something in a major capacity. So we encourage everybody, whether you have a short film, a full feature, music video, anything that was shot here in this town or in this area, please bring it out. Let's grow this community. Let's grow this video section of the independent filmmakers here in Memphis.
Let's turn his shelf into shelves. It's been 13 years, and Matt is still not with us. I don't know exactly how many local films he's got over there, but it's not much more than the length of my arm.
Probably 25 to 30.
And I know that there are more films out there than that.
I can't wait for...
We constantly see Facebook. Everybody's filming something. This is a place to bring that film. Matt will actually allow people to have screenings here. One of the things he did for me early on, and I guess this was still within their first year of existence, if I'm not mistaken, Morning Ritual, which premiered at Indie Memphis in 2001. We actually had a private screening in advance here, and the private screening alone had this little building packed to capacity. And Matt welcomes that. He wants individuals and independent filmmakers to have a place to screen their work where they can get some kind of an audience, some amount of feedback. And in that spirit, in, I guess, 3 weeks now, January 27th will be the 12th anniversary of filming on Morning Ritual. And we are going to be doing our best to have an event here at that time, that night. Free admission, come out and enjoy the night. And we're basically going to screen the entire catalog of work that I had done prior to meeting my partner Jamie Hall, and we will be screening a couple of little trailers along with that as well. And at the end of the night, we ourselves are going to turn over all of those films on DVD for preservation here at Black Lodge. When Cold Blooded in the Bag have finished their run at festivals and other events, they will be on these shelves at Black Lodge, so that you, the viewer, the other filmmakers in town, anybody that walks in this building that Matt wants to guide towards those films, will have the ability to see those projects. And even ourselves, we've all suffered computer crashes. Myself recently moved in August to a new location, and in the process, my desktop computer crashed. I transferred a bunch of information from there to my laptop. While reconstructing my desktop, my laptop started having issues, so I lost material. Fortunately, it was nothing that couldn't be backed up on Kent's computer. But I had potentially lost my copy of your film. It's at Lodge. I can come and grab that. I can come and see my work. I can look at my whole catalog. I can see the growth I've made over time, as well as come in here and look at other independent films, my competitors and compatriots. And when I say competitors, I mean the other filmmakers in town who, when they raise their production value, will inspire me to raise mine. And that is the kind of environment that Matt Martin has tried to create for the local artist here. And Black Lodge has been home to many a character, many an individual, and many an artist. I've walked in and seen people playing guitar. I've walked in and found out that he had a band performing. I've walked in and seen artists drawing, painting, or whatever else they might do, write, whatever form of art they do. This has been a place that has inspired people to do that kind of art. Some of the people I call friend for a number of years in my life frequent this place at different times as artists and as film buyers, film watchers.
Well, it's a place of, like you said, people can come in and do anything. You can even just come in and watch a good movie.
Exactly. There's almost always a movie playing or a video playing in Lodge. Right now, you don't hear any background noise because of our show. That is a very rare thing. Matt is very good about constantly screening films. And you never know what you might come in and see. You may come in and see Alfred Hitchcock. You may come in and see The Twilight Zone. You may come in and see a foreign film. You may come in and see an animation. You may come in and see a concert video. You never know what you will experience, and you can learn something from all of them as a filmmaker, and you can gain enjoyment from them as just a viewer. And then, as I said, you never know who you might meet at Black Lodge. Through Black Lodge, I have met a number of people that I have worked with, a number of people that I have since just established friendships with. Earlier today, as we were setting up the show, when we walked in, Josh McLean, a local musician, a drummer, I believe.
Yeah.
Also a local filmmaker. He is someone I personally met here several years ago, right here in Lodge. Someone you've known for years and hadn't seen and ran into here at Lodge today. So you can really establish good connections with people. I believe the reaction from Josh was, give me a call when you need a soundtrack. And, I mean, that's, at this point, you're not even at the point where you're looking for music, and now you already have an option. So that kind of thing can happen at Lodge. It's a great place to connect, it's a great place to learn, and it's a great place to grow the art that we do.
It's all about networking with everybody. We've said it several times before, this is a community. Memphis film community has to be something that we're all tight with. It's not, for me, it's not a competition with other filmmakers. I enjoy watching other filmmakers' movies and being able to see how they've honed their craft. And it might make me a better filmmaker in the long run. And the more that I'm able to see how my compatriots in this art have done their things from the guys that, like Craig, their first movies and first films, being able to see their things up into, things that other people have done that I've never met. And it's great to have that in a town like this. I beg and plead to see that, like you said, to see that where he has his films is on the floor, where he has his Memphis films, his independent films is on the floor. I'm looking right at them.
Right.
And they're in front of a window. And I would love to see, and I've made it a vow, to be able to help fill that up with some of our films.
Absolutely. I think that's our obligation as independent and local filmmakers to support the environment that wants to support us. And it's funny that you bring up Craig Brewer, because everybody in town, especially in the film community, knows who Craig Brewer is. And, everybody has different opinions of his work and all of that. But he is someone that many see as successful. He's been to Hollywood. He's made big productions. The last thing that Craig did was come back to Memphis and, in lightning speed, put together a feature-length production that focused on Black Lodge and the independent filmmakers that inspired him and that he helped inspire back in the day, as it were, when he was making Poor and Hungry, and over that period of time. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of that. He included me because of Morning Ritual, which he executive produced. And he put this together, and he encouraged all of the filmmakers to be a part of it, to come to Indie Memphis. He got us all free passes, let us come in and enjoy the experience. He even allowed me to bring my partner, Jamie, as a guest, and a few other people with us. Our wives were with us as well. And that production, I believe it was called Indie Dreams.
Indie Origins.
Indie Origins, excuse me. That's a production he's actually going to bring into Black Lodge exclusively. Outside of the copies he's giving the filmmakers, this will be the only place you can find it. My understanding is he's going to put enough in this building that people have the option of taking it home for free with any other movie that they rent. I do not know when this will happen, and if I'm misspeaking, I deeply apologize to Mr. Brewer for that. But that was from an email about a month ago, as I understood it. That just shows that even the professional that lives in town understands and recognizes the importance of this establishment of Black Lodge Video and the need for it and what it is trying to create for independent filmmakers. He recognizes the importance of that. And in support of those filmmakers, the Indie Origins film itself contains many of our films. My entire short film, Morning Ritual, is a part of that film. So when people come in and they think, oh, this is the next Craig Brewer production, I want to see what that's about. It's all about supporting the independent artist and supporting this location and giving it an exclusive right to have a production that he put together. That's kind of a serious hats off to this location and to Matt Martin for building this. And I think that, as you said, and as we've reiterated a number of times, as filmmakers in town, I think it is our obligation to bring our productions here. We didn't make a film, at least I don't make films, so that they can sit on my shelf. The idea that they could ever sit on someone else's shelf is amazing to me.
I can't wait for the day somebody steal my film. It's
Well,
almost an honor.
I actually have to say, I may be at that stage. I've come in here a few times and tried to find the copy of mine that was over there, and I never find it.
It was there. I've seen it.
You did find? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I guess I haven't reached that stage yet.
Well, when I first met Matt, it was at Indie Origins this year, and we had spoke to him about my film.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, bring it over. Let's look at it. Let's see it. I want to see it. And you're more than welcome to put it in line with the other ones for rent. And, small things like that are things that humble me more than what I'm already humble. I mean, to be able to have somebody tell me that, hey, your film is welcome into our lineup, that made me feel at home within the film community for somebody like Matt to say that. And I have the utmost respect for him for that. But it's something for me, it's an honor.
Absolutely.
I mean, to have people come in and want to rent your film and want to look at it and even discuss it to any means.
I definitely,
whether you like it or don't.
I was fortunate, as I have said many times, in many places. I was very fortunate that my personal career started with Craig Brewer inviting me to play a small bit in Porn Hungry. And then he ended up executive producing my first film, Morning Ritual. That alone was an honor. It helped me jump through a bunch of stages that I might have faltered at. And he really gave me a quick lesson on how to put together a production and how to do that without the lack of money causing a necessary drop in production value.
It doesn't take a lot of money. It takes a lot of heart.
I've by no means made Oscar-winning films since that time, but I have been able to make a number of productions on virtually no money and still have other people recognize that they are worthwhile watching, that they have a decent production value. And then, of course, in this recent year, we've had a number of fortunate things have happened for us. We've created a fairly strong alliance with Mr. Greg Gray, who is our lighting and sound man on almost everything we do at this point, if we can make it happen, and is, of course, behind the controls with us today.
And I have to say, even in the tense moments when you're filming, Greg is able to make you laugh uncontrollably.
Absolutely.
Lightens the mood there, Greg.
27 degrees in the brewery, and he could make you laugh enough to be warm.
Yep.
But things like that have helped us raise our production value. Watching other people's films. Arnold Edwards, his trailer for Stillwater. A number of people have said a number of different things about it one way or the other, but one thing I never hear anybody say is that it does not look amazing. And I see that trailer right before I have to make, or right around the time I am making my trailer for Happy Hour. And I'm looking at this thinking, I'm a hack. I've met Arnold. I've hung out with Arnold. I've talked to Arnold. He's just a guy like I am. But then I saw his trailer and I think I'm kind of a hack. So I had to think to myself, what can we do? And I talked to Kent, Marcus Kent Hampson, my cinematographer and partner. And we brought in Greg Gray and borrowed some of his equipment for one of the days, and he came in for one of the days and helped us light and get it all done. And all of a sudden, our production value shot up, and I felt good again. And that's what I'm talking about, feeding off of each other. Being able to see someone else create a production that makes you go, damn, how can I do that?
Well, we've said it a million times, I know, in just the short time that we've been on here. This is a community. We're supposed to be here to help one another. It does take money to do these things, and not a lot of us have a lot of money. But people like Greg, I will sell blood and semen to be able to pay him to come out to one of my sets. Because, I mean, when you look at the quality of what you're trying to do with film, light and sound is one of the key things for that.
Well, we've often said it's a visual medium, but if you can't hear what you're seeing, there is no point. And his work, as far as I'm concerned, has been worth every penny, and I wish I could be paying him much more because he has really raised our production value. I want to go ahead and show the Happy Hour trailer. Unfortunately, as I said, we're still learning the ins and outs of screening live here. But, excuse me? You don't have it? You said you had it.
I know somebody's going to be in trouble later.
Okay, well, we'll go to another example of Greg's work. Actually, perhaps a better example of Greg's work with some slicker editing on it. And we'll show the trailer for The Bag, the film I did last year, written by Jason Perry. Again, I don't know exactly where in the video it will start because we're still trying to figure out the live stream, but we'll go ahead and we'll let it loop around so you can in fact see the entire trailer. This is The Bag, written by Jason Perry and directed by myself. Lighting by Greg Gray.
Hey, Christine, want a ride?
Bye, Dad. What's in your bag? Is that blood?
Okay, that was The Bag, and as we were going into it, as I said, lighting and sound entirely done by Greg Gray. He is a one-man force in nature when it comes to that side of the tech. I highly recommend him for anybody's production out there. In the coming weeks, we will probably have a video loop that will give you some information on Greg, how much he costs, where you can get a hold of him, whatever it is that he wants us to put out there for him. But I highly recommend him for your productions. Going back to the independent films on on the shelf at Black Lodge, I mentioned that I had seen Arnold Edwards' trailer for Stillwater. Now, I don't necessarily know what will or will not be happening with that production, but
Excuse me.
I would like to see even the trailer on that shelf because it is something that was produced in town. I know Chris McCoy, I believe, has completed his documentary on the Antenna Club. Of course, he's probably still running the circuit on festivals and things like that. But I'm very much hoping that that will end up on this shelf because that is not only something produced in town, but it actually documents something historical within this town.
Yeah, I mean, the Antenna Club was a big, it was a big thing here in town.
It was to Memphis what CBGB's was to
Absolutely.
New York for a while, is my understanding. I did not, unfortunately, have the opportunity to go there. It was before I lived here. but my understanding was it was a very important club for musicians in town, and for fans of music as well. And kind of like the High Tone, which we are also about to be losing.
That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
I know that the Memphis Film Society mixer this quarter is going to be at the High Tone, and it will probably be the last time that they appear there. I don't know the exact closing date, but we are about to lose the High Tone. And again, that's indicative of another reason why this is so important for filmmakers. Lodge has been here 13 years. We never know how long something will last. This is a place to put your films. When you are gone, when you've left town, when you've moved, when the business you work at or perform at or whatever has closed down around you, or the place to put your art, if the theaters in town start closing, Lodge will be here to preserve your work. And that is important. I want to see all of the productions in town on this shelf. I want to see Chris Raines' Inner Child, I believe it was titled. I want to see that on this shelf when he's done with running it through the circuit. I want to see Forrest Pruitt's Dark Corners episodes on these shelves when they're done going through post-production. These are all things that were produced in town, that the actors in town have put blood, sweat, and tears and hours of work for a pizza or a hamburger, unless it's your set, to make a production happen. And I want to see those productions, you know, like Matt said, good, bad, or horrible. We need those films. From out of those films, we will see who are the people in town that have the talent to rise above, and will they be helping the other productions in town. I very much love to work with other filmmakers. That is why Rising Fire Productions is a partnership with Jamie Hall. It is not J. Lazarus Hawk Films. It is Rising Fire. And I want to see other people understand that the thought process is to be a community. We've mentioned Arnold Edwards a number of times. He is someone who absolutely gets it. I don't think either one of us have ever said that we are going to begin a production and have not heard from Arnold volunteering to be on that set at every moment he can possibly.
And not even just being on the set, but, you know, doing things for home for you. You know, outlining your script.
I forgot he broke down a script for you, actually. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Anything that we can do to help each other raise our production values. Why did I choose you as my partner? I saw in you the talent and the drive and the determination, and I have to admit the drive and determination was something that was burning out with me because I'd struggled hard. I saw someone who had that, and I had made enough of a reputation and enough connections that I had hoped to be able to steer you around some of the stumbling blocks. You yourself have mistakenly said I'm your mentor. A number of people have mistakenly thought you worked for me. I cannot be any more clear than to say that is not true. This is a partnership. Without you, without the drive, without the determination that you have brought in this past year, I may have very well have given up because it had become so frustrating. I had forgotten things like Black Lodge and Matt Martin and his willingness to support actors and filmmakers and musicians and artists of all types and help them get their productions an audience. I had forgotten what it was to be able to go on set and make a production happen smoothly. You brought some pre-production lessons to me that I had forgotten and lost along the way. So it's, without question, this partnership has made me stronger. I hope that it has done the same for you.
Oh, definitely.
And you don't necessarily have to form alliances or form partnerships. Arnold Edwards is not a part of Rising Fire. Rising Fire is not a part of Hero Shot. But I'll tell you what, if Arnold ever calls and ever needs anything, I change my schedule and I jump as best I can to help him, because he has always done that for us. And that kind of communal spirit can raise even the smallest production to higher levels and create a better production.
Well, it's like I said earlier, in my opinion, this is not a competition for me. I'm not trying to compete with Arnold or anybody in this community.
Exactly.
When I do a film, I do it for what we believe in and the things that we want to do as far as film opportunities and what we want people to see. But I'm also willing to step out of that and go be a cable puller for somebody.
Absolutely.
Or, help build a set or anything like that. Nothing in this form of art that I love will I not do.
Exactly. And, in that same spirit, Saturday, I woke up and went downtown to Wagner Advance, where Chad Allen Barton and Piano Man Pictures were filming some scenes for their next production, or one of their next productions. I don't want to misspeak the order of their releases. Lights, Camera, Bullshit, which originally started out as a longer length short film and then was extended to a feature. And I don't want to say too much to it because I'm not very versed on what the story is or what the film is about specifically. But I will say that Chad Allen Barton has agreed to come on the show in several weeks, and hopefully he'll bring with him a trailer and we'll have the opportunity to discuss at length that actual production. But I went down there, and of course it's cold. It's on the verge of rainy, off and on rainy.
It's January in Memphis.
And they had an all-call for extras. And they were disappointed, rightly so, in that they wanted a certain number of people, 20-plus people, and they got closer to a dozen to 15 people. So they had enough to make it work. And I watched as they really kind of made things happen, even though they didn't have their crowd they wanted. They still got the shots they wanted, and I admired that. But I showed up on the set. I was, of course, a little bit late, so they kind of were running with what they had for extras, and I was not necessary for those scenes. Chad had said, stick around, maybe we'll find a place for you on screen or whatever, which, if that's what he wanted me to do, that's what I'd have done. But ultimately, I kind of felt like I was just in his way, just being an extra body on the set that he's not utilizing. But I wanted him to know that if he needed something, that I was a person who was standing there. Tell me to do something. I'm here. I'll run to McDonald's. I'll grab a cable. I'll move a box. I'll relay messages from himself to Charlie Metz or someone else on the set. Whatever it was he needed. Ultimately, he ended up not needing me, not using me on screen. So I went ahead and I got out of his way, dismissed myself early, and let him know that at any time on any production, anything he needs, any question he has, please contact us. We will do anything we can to help him. And I would like to think that in return, and I've got no reason to think otherwise, that we would be able to call on him for that same return. And I know that Shelby Baldock, part of Piano Man Pictures, he was a part of the Happy Hour trailer, and he helped me with that. Chad Allen Barton has a number of times used people that we've known in his productions. I recommended Marcus Seabury, actually. And it turns out that Marcus did a fantastic job for what they needed. This, of course, after we tortured Marcus by suspending him 70 feet in the air, only to discover that he was ultimately afraid of heights. But that's the kind of dedication that shows through as well, as, being able to face that fear. But that's off topic. The need for community is something that Black Lodge is here to build. The opportunity to put every movie we've ever made on a shelf where anyone in town at any time can come along and rent it. And you really never do know who will come into Lodge. I know for a fact that Craig Brewer will come into Black Lodge on occasion, and he will grab a shelf, or he'll grab a movie off the shelf, and he might go to the independent shelf and look for something he hasn't seen. And Craig likes to discover new talent. He enjoys helping other people get exposure. That's what the whole Indie Origins was about. So, as filmmakers, you never know. You may put a movie on that shelf that makes Craig Brewer give you a phone call.
Well, that's what I was saying. You never know who's going to be the one person
Exactly.
to pick it up and watch it. You know, that can lead to so many more avenues for you as a filmmaker.
And, you know, when you bring your film in, Matt will watch it. He isn't just going to put it on his shelf. He will sit down and he will watch the film. And when another person comes in, if he sees that this is a film that that person might like, you know, he pays attention to what people rent. He starts to see patterns. He makes recommendations very often. I've seen people come in and say, hey, you yourself doing character study, I need a really messed up leading woman with really messed up priorities. And he went right to a shelf and found you at least one example.
And found two of the best films, one being Last Seduction, and Romeo is Bleeding with Gary Oldman in it.
Right, of course.
Two of my new favorite films. Absolutely two of my favorite films now.
So, you know, Matt doesn't just keep a bunch of knowledge in his head. He actually makes use of it. He recommends films to people, whether they're viewers or filmmakers. I'm hoping that one of the things we will do on our show regularly will be having Matt kind of tell the local filmmaker, here's a movie you should watch, and here's why you should watch it. And I'd love to do that on a weekly basis, because all of us as filmmakers need to watch films. If you're a writer, you need to read. If you're a filmmaker, you need to watch films. It's how you learn. And it's, you know, watching other filmmakers has taught me an immense amount of things.
Absolutely.
Alfred Hitchcock is one of the greatest teachers I've ever had. Just sit down and watch Rear Window 6 times in a row, and you know, you start to understand something. Or Psycho, even. It's just, this is a place where you can truly educate yourself as a filmmaker. You can truly entertain yourself as a viewer. From comedy to tragedy to music to cinema bizarre, as it were.
There's enough of film here that you have probably never seen to keep you.
I've been impressed just walking through. You know, not only am I looking at shelves just from where we're sitting, there are the films of Ken Russell, there are the films of Sam Fuller, there are the films of Alex Cox, there are the films of David Lynch, Peter Jackson, Terry Gilliam, and you walk through the other rooms and you've got Spielberg, you've got Jarmusch. Over here you've got John Waters, Ed Wood, and Alejandro Jodorowsky, who are filmmakers by name some people may not even know. But these are people that influenced filmmakers you know. Roger Corman is a great example. Practically every filmmaker you've ever heard of that is the bigger names in Hollywood, Spielberg, Coppola, Scorsese, all of these people actually worked for Roger Corman at one point or another. And, of course, Roger Corman's work is not up to their standards. It's a completely different type of cinema. But as Craig Brewer quoted, and I don't remember the actual individual whose quote this is, unfortunately, but there has to be a lot of bad cinema. There has to be a lot of shit films, basically, because it is out of that the true flowers will grow. And this whole library, what you see behind us, what you see beside us, the rooms that exist to the side of us, everything in here is designed to preserve and teach what cinema was or is. You know, if there is a day that there are no longer cameras rolling, that there are no longer people making film, and 100 years goes by, or 1,000 years go by, or nuclear apocalypse, if this stuff is preserved, people will be able to see a wide range of what art expressed in cinema. from the blockbuster to the most out-of-the-way independent production. You can find films in here that you will never find anywhere else. I've seen things on the shelf in here I can't find online for purchase, for whether it's new, used, or somebody has uploaded so I could download. He has got things in here you've never heard of. He's got filmmakers I had never heard of in here until I came into this room and paid attention and listened to Matt talk. And I listen to him not only when he talks to me, but when he's talking to other people. And the knowledge that he possesses, the studying he has done, both through watching the work, studying the work, and then reading about the artists that make the work, has been absolutely priceless to me. And I feel negligent that on everything I make, I don't put a caveat thank you to Matt Martin and Black Lodge Video, because they do provide me the inspiration. They do provide me the opportunity as a filmmaker to know for a fact I will always have an audience of one, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
I think we should go ahead and cut away to, why don't we run one of our commercials? Since we're so freestyle right now, we'll run one of our little personal PSAs or commercials. Rising Fire will be conducting acting classes beginning tomorrow night. These will be for group. These are not one-on-one classes. I will be doing one-on-one as well, and we'll discuss that at a future date. But tomorrow, Rising Fire's Inner Fire acting class will be starting at 110 or 120 Commerce Avenue, downtown. It's at the intersection of Main Street and Commerce Avenue. It'll be easy to find. There's free parking for those that are attending the class. We will be providing dinner as well. So come out and join us from 7 to 10 p.m. for the Inner Fire acting class with Jamie Hall and myself. And run it, Kent. Against bad acting. Be sure you know what you're doing, the choices you're making, before you step on the set.
What is on right now?
I have no idea what we're watching.
I don't even know what this is, but it's hilarious.
Anybody could be bad actors.
Don't like this crowd you're hanging
They
out
just put anybody on TV these days.
I know. It's like somebody's...
Don't let this conversation be about you. Rising Fire, insurance against bad acting. Be sure you know what you're doing, the choices you're making, before you step on the set. All right, that's the Inner Fire acting classes, excuse me, with Jamie Hall and myself, J. Lazarus Hawk, at 110 or 120 Commerce Avenue, downtown Memphis, and it'll be tomorrow night, and we'll be doing them every Monday night from 7 to 10 p.m., and we will provide a meal, which will be chosen from the catering menu at Ferrero's Pizzeria and Pub, which is the owners of the location that we'll be using to conduct our classes, and they have been very gracious to us in allowing us to use this location. It's a sizable place, and we have plenty of room, so please come out and join us. I have organized what I think will be a fairly unique class, and you will be coached and worked through scenes from 2 active local film directors, bearing over almost 30 years of experience in camera work and film work. Marcus Kent Hampson, our lead cinematographer and partner, will also be on hand. We may end up filming some scenes. Who knows? We don't know what we'll be doing in class, and neither do you, so that's why you need to come out. We will also be conducting a workshop in February. It'll be a limited workshop, exclusive as it were, to 8 students per class. We'll have a Sunday class as well as a Tuesday class. So go to risingfire.com, risingfyre.com, and click on the Inner Fire link, and there are a couple of different images there that you can click on for some further information. I apologize. Currently, my understanding is some of the images are a little fuzzy and hard to read, but if you have any questions, you can easily find us on Facebook, and our emails are readily available. JLazarusHawk@risingfire.com or filmwarrior@risingfire.com. Speaking on the location that we'll be conducting our classes in, this location will also be used for the upcoming promotional trailer, Nature of the Beast, which is a feature film production that my partner Jamie Hall will be directing. The story is written by myself and my brother Glenn Smith. We will be doing some rewrites. The story was originally written for sale to another market, but as the rights have returned to me, I have decided that Jamie Hall is the proper voice for this film, and that the film itself needs to be brought up to quality of filmmaker that you are. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Nature of the Beast and your intentions with the promotional trailer that we will be starting there?
What we're going to start there is starting next Sunday, a week from today, which is January 13th. We'll be filming part of what I call the club scene for Nature of the Beast. Nature of the Beast is, when I first read it, when you first passed it off to me right after a short hiatus from filming, it's definitely a script that I wanted to tackle. It's a very dark film, in my opinion, of what it means to believe in human nature. It's about a troubled goth girl who finds herself taking care of a person that has been bitten by a vampiress. And in this, while she's taking care of him, she's also trying to control the nature of this person. This person that has been bitten is going through a nasty little transformation that is more like of a drug abuser, somebody that has been taking drugs for years, going through what I call the DTs, and detoxing. And she quickly finds out that she's not always in control of everything like she wants to be. It's a dark tale, but with that dark tale, it's really human nature is what we're talking about.
Well, she really kind of makes a lot of bad choices in order to maintain that control you speak of. And it's her nature to want to control, and ultimately it's how far is she willing to go to maintain that control.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun film to do. We've got a lot of people interested in a lot of the roles for it. We are asking for quite a bit of extras for next Sunday. We're in need of about 40 people for the club scene. So if you guys are wanting to come out and see what Memphis Film is all about and wanting to be a part of one of our films that's going to be coming out, that we're going to plan on filming starting next October.
Right.
To start the full feature on. Please come out, see what it's all about, have fun. There will be music. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Live DJ.
Live DJ. We've had a local DJ volunteered to come out, and he's going to be playing music, and we're just going to get a party going, and we're going to be filming at the same time as a party going, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
And I want to add that next Sunday we're going to actually bring this show in frame. We'll be coming to live from that location. We will regularly be coming from Black Lodge, but we are able to bring our show on the road. So other filmmakers out there that might want some on-set publicity or some sort of hype like that, again, contact us and let us know. We're not against coming out to your set, setting up our camera and our little show.
Would love to
do on-camera interviews. We would love to interview you, your cast, your crew, or just sit back and commentate as it's happening. Anything to help you get promotions and some publicity for the work you are doing. I also would like to add that, There's so many things you're
Yeah.
doing, Lord. Nature of the Beast feature you'll be doing in October. The promotional trailer you're shooting, the intention for that is to put together a short trailer-styled production that can be used to raise money to fuel the production. And once that you have some money, you'll be able to actually pay actors more than pizza or burgers.
This is a film that I want to, not only do I want to, but you as well, and we think it deserves it to have a budget. We want to be able to get people involved in this. I want to be able to pay the actors, the crew, you know, everybody that comes on our sets have been such wonderful people and volunteering, you know,
Absolutely.
for a meal or, you know, for a soda or anything like that.
And we've been fortunate that many of the times we've had a set, whether it's Cold-Blooded, The Bag, or something else we've done, even some of the goofy little PSAs and commercials we did to advertise our class, often the same people come out and show us that support, which means that whatever we did once, we're doing right because they're coming back. Now, going back to your need for extras and the call for wanting 40 people, as I said with the Piano Man pictures the other day for Lights, Camera, Bullshit, they did not get the numbers they wanted. I came home and I was a little disappointed because I had contacted a couple of people and suggested maybe they try to get a hold of it. People that have worked with me on one capacity or another that I felt could help bring some depth to it, you know, by being a body, by just helping them fill it out. And they had not shown up. And I was disappointed by that. And I came home and I wrote a note that I shared with you last night. The role of an extra is very non-glamorous, almost never paid. You stand around doing nothing for long periods of time often. But this is a small town, and all of us as filmmakers know and or know of each other or are at least 1 degree of separation from each other. When you come out as an extra, and you stand there, especially in situations where it's cold, or it's rainy, or it's in some way uncomfortable, and you stay there, and you show that you are willing to give that kind of support to the production and to the people making the production, trust me, the people making that production remember you. And personally, I've had people show up just to fill a space, and they sat there for 8 hours, 10 hours, and they filled that space. And the next time I needed someone, I called them, and they came out and they filled that space. The next time I had a role that they were the right type for, I did not audition the role initially. I called them and asked them if they wanted it, because they had already shown me that they could be relied on, that they had the dedication, that they offered the support. And they were able to go from somebody who did bit role parts, little extra roles, to being someone who had a role where they had dialogue and screen time. It was never anything significant thus far, but I'll tell you what, that person still gets a phone call from me every time I do a production, offering either a role, an opportunity to be an extra, or something they might be able to do behind the camera to help because this person or persons has proven they would do that. And that means everything. Marcus Seabury is a great example. Marcus Seabury came out and auditioned for Glowin', which was one of Forrest Pruitt's Dark Corners episodes. And in my opinion, a brilliant story concept, a great idea for a story. Very disappointed that we had the sound issues we did that will probably prevent that production from being seen as it exists now. But anyway, he came out and he auditioned for the role I wanted to give him. And he came out and he proved something, and he faced his greatest fear. He allowed us to strap him into a 5-point harness, haul him up to the 2nd floor of the brewery, and suspend him, being terrified of heights. He immediately thanked me, and has continuously, a number of times I've seen him since, thanked me for making him a better actor because of it. the dedication he showed, the fact that he was willing to face that fear for us. When Eric Tate asked me if I knew of any actors that he could use, and he described the type he wanted and the character he wanted, immediately Marcus Seabury came to mind, because I knew he would give them the dedication. As it turns out, he worked out beautifully. I spoke to Eric Tate about it the other day, and he said that he was wonderful. He loved the role he did. In fact, he had trouble getting through a couple of the scenes because of the comedic quality that was inherent to the scene, that Marcus's ability to be just so flat and straight-faced kept cracking him up, and he was having trouble getting through his scene. So it's nice to hear that I recommended someone that they worked out. But it's more important to the actors out there to understand the reason I recommended him was because I know Marcus has come out time and time again to a number of sets just to show us support, just to be there as a body when you needed a body. And that is the kind of thing that, in my mind, has made him one of the better actors that we could go to. Will he win an Oscar? I don't know if he'll ever be an Oscar-winning actor. I don't know that he won't. But I know that he has the heart to try to be one.
Right.
And I will always award that heart.
And it's important anytime that, you know, when a filmmaker tries to include people, you know, we always get, hey, next time you do a film, let me know and I want to be there. You know, I want to be in your films.
Absolutely.
But there's not, you know, as a filmmaker, you always have that certain person in mind that you want to be in your films, or, you know, you have that look that you want that person to be in your films. Doesn't necessarily mean that just because you're an extra doesn't mean that you won't have an opportunity to show yourself and be that next person that's in one of your films.
And, you know, not only coming out and being and showing support for the production, but how many times have I been on a set as an extra where I've walked away having met someone that later proved important to me? There have been a number of different times over the years that I've met a gentleman named Ron Gephardt. I am not in full contact with Ron on a regular basis. I am not always someone who can put names and faces together quickly. I hear stories of a gentleman named Ron Gephardt, one of the finer stage actors in town, one of the finer teachers in town. I go downtown the other day to Lights, Cameras, Bullshit shoot. There's Ron Gephardt. I had a chance to actually speak to Ron Gephardt for a moment, just a quick moment, and say hello. The comment I made about actors being extras, coming down there, showing support, he was the first person, and maybe the only person, who responded to that. And his response was, that's exactly what I tell my students. And then he went on to say several of his previous students were on this location, in the cold, in the rain, doing what they were asked to do. And he went that one step further, and he put every one of their names in his comment. And I immediately said, I need to grab a pen, and I need to write down these names, because these are names that someone whose reputation I can trust is recommending. And in a town like Memphis, where we are as inbred as we are, where we are as close as we are to each other, and we know everybody in town who's making productions, or someone who knows that person, word of mouth can really make a difference on whether or not you're working.
Absolutely.
And it's important to come out on any production and show that support. There are people who may or may not be good filmmakers today, or tomorrow, or next week, or maybe even ever. But that does not mean that they don't deserve the opportunity to try. It doesn't mean they don't deserve the opportunity to have someone offer them some support. And there are films out there that my name appears in, I'm not necessarily proud of. There are names Kent's name has appeared, or there are films Kent's name has appeared on that he's not necessarily proud of. But maybe we did something for that filmmaker when we were there that helps them change something about themselves in their next production. And if that's the case, proud of being a part of it or not, it's still a small success for me.
Well, I mean, you know, actors are important. extras are also important because they fill that void that you don't have
Absolutely.
for a bunch of actors. But you know, a lot of people look at extras as, like you said, being on the bottom. They're some of the most important people that you have to have as well.
You know, no matter how well you shoot it, no matter how glamorous your leading lady is, or how masculine and desirable your leading man is, if you have a really intense scene in a crowded environment and you have 7 people in your crowd, your production value has dropped. It may still look good. You might be able to still finagle a good shot. You still might even be able to lie to the audience and imply that there's more there than there is. But, without question, the production value has dropped. When you need extras, you need extras. You don't need 4 or 5 people. You need 40 or 50 people. And that can be the doorway to other opportunities.
Absolutely.
As filmmakers, both of us have often, as I said earlier, directly called an actor or an actress to offer a role. I'm working on a couple of productions right now where my intention is to not even hold auditions. I have certain types that I need for these roles, and those types exist in certain people. So I am going to contact those people directly. I also have a tendency to call the people I know that have pulled through in the past, that have shown that reliability, as I stated earlier. Those people will get phone calls. Now, at that point, if I don't have all of my roles, I'll go ahead and I'll do auditions. On bigger productions, Nature of the Beast, we will actually hold auditions and things like that. So we're not giving up auditions. You don't have to come to our set and you don't have to come to our classes to be one of our actors. But it doesn't hurt to get out there and establish face-to-face, handshaking relations with the other actors in town, because you don't know who they know. The other directors in town, because you don't know who they know. You may come out to one of our sets, for instance, and you're on set with a couple of actors, and all of a sudden, there's someone you know. And they're bringing with them people they know as far as their experience. And now, like, even not necessarily having names. When we were shooting The Bag, we had a couple people come out, sit on set. Tori Helms, who played the mother character in the film. She is a fairly well-connected actress. She's not done anything huge that people would know her from specifically, though she's been an extra in several larger productions. But behind the scenes, she knows a lot of people, and she lives in a different market. So all of a sudden, people are saying, well, you live in, I believe it's Birmingham, Alabama, or that vicinity. You live out there. What kind of work is happening there? And now people have another market to look at, to go to. Todd Underwood.
Yeah.
He's actually a great example of what we're talking about. He did some extra work. He did a bit role on ASVS, Jim Weeder's first at-stake Vampire Solutions film. And then you gave him Cold-Blooded, where he is the lead body of the film is his. And the next thing I know, he's on set with Ray Liotta and Sylvester Stallone. Now, that is by no means a testament to us directly, but through giving him that opportunity to take on the role, you inspired him to look at his acting career in a different light. And he took it with a different seriousness. And indicative of his personality, Todd being Todd, God bless him, the next thing he did was sit on the set with Stallone and Liotta. So you never know what can push open that door. You never know who can open the door of opportunity. You never know what instant in life something will inspire you to transcend a moment and step up. There's a gentleman behind us, I believe still, named Joe, who I have worked with in the past, and I'm not trying to embarrass him or call him out, and I won't even call out his last name. If he wants to say hi, he can jump up and down back there. I've worked with Joe a number of years ago on a tiny little experimental film called Together Forever. It was 1 minute long, and it took place in my tiny little bathroom at the apartment I lived in. To my knowledge, he's not done much work since then, but he is a fine actor. He actually has a lot of skill, and I'm trying to tell him, get out there, take classes, be an extra. And, you know, there are plenty of options for classes in town. On Monday nights, we're going to be doing the Inner Fire class.
Forrest Pruitt.
I will mention that Forrest Pruitt,
Yep.
if you don't want to travel downtown, and there's a lot of actors in out east, in Bartlett, in Germantown, in Collierville, that may be coming downtown's a little far away.
Right.
Go to Forrest Pruitt's studio out in... Is he still
Director's Row.
Director's Row?
It's over, from my understanding, it's over by
It's near Southwest
Community
College. Is it
yeah,
that
Southwest
location
Community
near
College.
Southwest? Okay.
Oh, Airport?
Airport?
Okay.
Find
Director's
it.
Row. I will look at the address now and give it to everybody.
Find the indie acting class on Facebook. He's got posts going on regularly. He's got a class on Mondays, and he also has a class on Thursdays. So even if you do come out to our class on Monday night, be sure to go out to him on Thursdays. Visit Daniel Martine's master acting classes on Wednesdays. Seek classes. Find other actors to work with, because you need to nurture your craft. You need to become stronger. You want to learn to create chemistry with another actor, and sometimes you may need to do that in an instant. You could be on set with an actress, and that actress gets fired. Now you have a new actor or actress to deal with. You have to be able to jump in and out of character despite what that other actor or actress might give you. You need to be able to learn to feed off of each other. Go out and take classes. Group classes are built and designed to help you create chemistry in scenes. Take one-on-one classes. I offer one-on-one classes. Corey Parker offers one-on-one classes. If I'm not mistaken, Forrest himself has started offering one-on-one classes.
Not to interrupt you or cut you off, but it is 6047 Executive Center Drive, Suite 3 is the address to indie acting classes.
Okay. And again, that's every Monday, every Thursday. Getting out and acting makes you a better actor. If you can take a class on Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, take a class every night of the week. If you really, really want to be a serious actor, understand that working actors out in LA have multiple jobs often. They have a job for an income, and they have a job to pay for their acting classes. Now, when they get real work, they're getting paid enough to support themselves. But I guarantee you, a large percentage of their income is being dedicated to taking more and more acting classes consistently. You are never too young or never too new to start, and you are never too old or experienced to learn more. There is always something you can learn, and you can't learn it all from one person. So I think it's wise for actors in town to travel around, look at the different acting classes, experience the different acting coaches, the different styles, and the different things that each of them will bring to you. You know, our class will be very different than Forrest's class. Forrest's class is very different than Daniel Martine's class. Daniel Martine's class is much more focused on an LA style than our class might be. You never know what you're going to get and what's going to make that connection, as we said. So, as an actor, get out there, be the extra. Show that you are willing to put in the time and the support to just be on set and take that kind of a role. Get out there and take classes. Become a better and a stronger actor, no matter what it takes. Make the directors in town and the filmmakers in town that are making productions want you in their production. Get out there and get your name known, your face known by other actors, so that when they're on a set and the director says, I really need another actor for this part, they can say, hey, I met this person on Jamie Hall's set. Maybe they would be somebody worth. And you can make yourself be known by people. Word of mouth, in this town especially, is your strongest weapon. Hopefully, In Frame, this show, can become another opportunity for all of us, actors, filmmakers, musicians, makeup artists, hairstylists, clothing designers,
Set builders.
If you are an artist of any type, it can be applied to film. Because in film, a visual medium, we need everything. We need art on the walls in the background. We need set design and style for what the film will look like. We need clothing on our actors. We need makeup on our actors. We need hair done on the actors. You know, we will often work with other writers for things. We need music for soundtracks, music for incidental moments of the film. There is not an art form that we are not willing to cover, expose, and give promotions to. So let In Frame be another opportunity and another means of publicity for you, your film, your music, or your art. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do another cutaway to something. Again, I apologize. These are joining in progress in some cases. We will let it loop so you can see the whole video, and in the future we hope to have this all a little bit more under control and be a slightly higher production, which is what you should be doing with your next production.
Dad, I mean...
Witness, if you will, a scene from a movie in which there was bad acting. To no fault of the actors, for which they paid for acting lessons and an acting coach. What they really needed was the Rising Fire Zone.
I don't like this crowd you're hanging out with, young lady.
But Dad,
I don't like this crowd you're hanging out with, young lady.
Dad, I mean...
The wrong people. Made bad choices. I became a bad actor. But then I noticed Rising Fire Productions, and they made me the actor I am today. Since then, I've been able to get auditions and book roles. Thank you, Rising Fire.
If you see the signs of bad acting in yourself or someone you love, please don't wait until it is too late. Call Rising Fire for help today.
My name is Alex. I wanted to be an actor, but then I got involved in the wrong crowd, the wrong people, made bad choices. I became a bad actor. But then I noticed Rising Fire Productions, and they made me the actor I am today. Since then,
You are watching Business Over Coffee, and we are so happy to be here with you today, along with the guest and the panelist on the show.
And I'll give you another example. I had changed my profile on Facebook recently this week, and it said married. It had like 10 or 12 options on there. Single, married. One of them was complicated, and I thought that was, I thought, well, shoot, I'm going to check that. My daughter immediately calls me and says, "What's up with this, Mom?"
A new book is always exciting to its author, of course, especially when it's a kind of continuation or the next step on a lifetime almost of work. And this one about emergence Christianity is a great joy and delight to me. Obviously one can do, and I have, analysis of the times in which we are, of the history of the times.
Hunter Bronner, Stephen Bradley, Trey Spann split to the left. Spann is in the slot. Bradley on the outside. Riley takes a snap on first down, drops the pass looking left, steps up into it. He's got Trey Spann over the middle. Spann breaks a tackle to the 40. Spann to the 50. Trey Spann still on his feet to the 45-40. Pushed out of bounds inside the 40-yard line of Tupelo. 43 seconds on the clock.
Put your hand on this chart right here in the center. Well, the way we're going to do your skin tones, we're going to match the skin, the eye color, and the hair color. What we're going to do is we're going to get right up in here. We've got to go past the beard line and get to where we have some real pure skin tones. And when we do that, you go really red. And when we do this, you stay the same tone.
I went and volunteered to go into the United States Navy, travel abroad, over halfway around the world, and after seeing other foreign countries, I realized how blessed I was to be from a city such as Memphis.
After graduating with my bachelor's degree, I was still in need of specialized training and education in order to transition into the assisted living industry. Through exceptional networking and career services offered by the Healthcare Educational Institute, I was able to land me a lead management position at a reputable facility.
All right. Yeah, he'll walk in. Are we back? All right. Nature Alive, we are back. Jamie Hall joining us again. We ran the Rising Fire Productions promotional reel. That's a mouthful. Just to show you a little bit about some of the things that we've done over the past year or so. Actually, the past several years or so. Some of the films as well as some of the corporate work that Rising Fire has now entered into. We have aligned ourselves with Business Over Coffee International, and we were fortunate to win the Collaborator of the Year award by, in my opinion, doing nothing more than what it is we do.
Yeah.
And that was being willing to help people make productions better, cheaper. We've had a lot of good results from working with BOCI. A lot of good connections have come our way, and we continue through 2013 and hopes that that will actually become profitable, which will also fuel some of the creative productions we were wanting to make, allowing us to pay our actors. Over the 12 years that I've worked in town on independent film and the several years you've worked on independent film, getting paid as an actor or paying actors is a very rare thing. It's often, like I keep joking, it's often done for pizza or hamburgers, with the exception of course, being on one of your sets, as I said.
I'm a fat dude. Food's important.
Well, you also have a wife who's an amazing cook and is willing to take the time. And to all the filmmakers in our community, we want to let you know that Rising Fire Productions is doing everything it can to raise its production value, become a company that can pay actors, become a company that's paying crew and making top-end productions. Not so that we can be better than anybody, but so that we can show people how they can do the same thing. Everything that we do, whether it is run a camera, write a script, edit, pull wire, hold a boom pole, anything it is we do,
in general,
we offer to any production out there. As long as we can make it work on our schedule and we can come out there, we will do everything we can to be out there. If you need extras, we'll show up and be on camera. If you need line pullers, we'll come out and pull cables. If you need food, I highly recommend contacting Jamie Hall or his wife Sarah. She is an amazing cook, and she has the ability to create large quantities of food for a very, very economic price. On the set of Cold-Blooded, which we are... Is it official? No, not yet officially.
The 19th.
The 19th?
The 19th will
be
a
the
year.
1-year anniversary for that. On set of Cold-Blooded, your wife produced, if I remember correctly, 2 large catering pans of a pasta bake, as well as
7 pounds.
7 pounds of jambalaya. Everybody on set ate for 4 days, 3 days, something like that. And I believe you still went away with extra food. No one ever complained about being hungry, whether it was 12 o'clock in the afternoon or 12 o'clock midnight or any time in between. This is something that Sarah has indicated she might be willing to do for your productions. We all have to do what we can to cut our budget. Many of us don't have much of a budget at all. Call up Jamie, call up Sarah, discuss with her what she might be able to do, what size crew, what size cast, how many days, all of those needs that you have. And this woman can help you figure out a very inexpensive way to feed those people worthwhile food, healthy food. Something that isn't just a hamburger or a piece of pizza, which, you know, we will all continue to show up for hamburgers and pizza, I'm sure. But if we don't have to, why should we? And Sarah can definitely help with that and has indicated she'd be willing to do so. So that's just yet another thing, even though she's not one of Rising Fire's partners or employees. By association, her willingness to support you is incredible. Extending that support to myself, my wife, other filmmakers in our community, that's a testament to her as a person, as well as just what she can bring you as a cook.
Well, we say it a lot, and I want to reiterate it, is that this is what we all want to do when we grow up.
Who wants to grow up?
Film is one of the most important things in our lives. You know, we are a family, and we love doing this, and we love helping any other production out. So, I mean, it's important to have people like that are willing to, you know, if their schedules are clear from what I call the daily drags or daily jobs, to be able to come out and help another production is something that we like to do.
Absolutely.
You know, whether it be myself or my wife or, you know, all of us together, we want to go out and support the film community and help the film community because we're all one entity.
Absolutely. If I had my way, I would wake up every day and go to the set.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be mine. You know, I have as much fun on my sets as I do on your sets as I have on other people's sets, and sometimes they're more fun because I'm not the stressing out over is my actor giving me what I want? Does my lighting look right? Did we capture the scene the way I wanted it? Have I remembered all my shots? Did I get my pre-production right? Being out on another set is sometimes a relief and an absolute sheer pleasure, especially when the filmmakers and the crews are focused, they know what they want, they know what they're doing, but they don't take themselves so serious that ego gets in the way. And I have to say that we've been incredibly fortunate that virtually everyone we've ever worked with has joined our hearts and our sets as a family member, and we really haven't had to face too much of the contradictory personality or the bad sides of people. You know, every production has its dramas, every individual has their dramas, but we've been very fortunate by and large that much of that has been kept away from our sets, kept away from our promotions, and kept away from our events. And that's what being a professional is about, being able to get out there and do what you do and encourage and help other people do what they do and not become a burden or a speed bump or block in the road.
Right. I think that's
the nature of live here. We originally planned our interview. I do hope that Matt's back there feeling a little bit better. And I want to reiterate that we will, in the future, do a far more focused show on Black Lodge and his origins of it, dreams for it, and intentions moving forward into the new year and further years on.
I got an idea. We do have a first-time customer in here that we have known since he was a little boy. Maybe he would like to give his first impression of Black Lodge.
Oh, if you know these people and you want to put them on the spot, by all means, it's live production.
Come here. Crouch down between Jamie and Lazarus here.
This is Joshua Pompa.
Howdy.
And I have known Josh since you were how old? 10? 11?
Younger.
Really?
9.
And this
maybe?
is your first time here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, it's pretty awesome. They got pretty much everything.
What is your impression of Black Lodge as a first-time customer?
Well, you know, just a mixture of some of the best things I've ever known of, some of the best genres, and a really good range of different movies.
What are you going to get today?
If I could get anything, I would get so many things. Because a lot of these are just too great.
So when you walk into a place like this, you see the way it's laid out, you see everything they have to offer. Now, I don't know you, I don't know if you're a musician, if you're just to watch films, if you're someone who wants to make films or what. But when you come in here and you see the way this is laid out and what's presented to you, how does it make you feel?
Pretty inspired, actually. You know, so many of these.
He's amazed in all the odds.
It's definitely not your normal video store.
No, not at all. But still, at the same time.
You just don't know where to start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's my first impression of the place, and it's pretty good.
Well, excellent. I appreciate it. You coming out here and being put on the spot. Continue looking around. I see that you have a Misfits pin, a Ramones pin. Continue looking around. I'm sure you will find in their little music section several excellent videos.
Video in there.
I was going to say there's a couple of good Danzig-oriented things back in there.
Good Sam Hain video in there.
So thank you for letting us put you on the spot. I don't know exactly how many people are out there seeing this, but we are live at the moment. If you want to check in and see just how silly you look on film, we're going to be posting this show next Friday on a webpage for the show itself, which is called In Frame, and Jamie can give you all that information and all that.
All right, awesome.
But thanks for joining us for the moment. And
thank you.
Knock yourselves out.
Well, that was kind of...
That was on the spot. Thank you, Sarah. Great thought right there. Sarah Johns Hall, the lady I mentioned early, with the wonderful heart and ability to reach every man's belly.
Yeah. I used to be skinny.
Well, we definitely thank Sarah for the many times she has provided, whether it was Thanksgiving or the catering of Cold-Blooded or anything else. I've not yet had anything come out of her kitchen that I have not been in awe of, and I strongly encourage anybody out there who wants to feed a group of people cheap on their set and make these people feel like you gave them something special, contact this woman and she can help you out. I guarantee it. We're kind of winding down. Like I said, we're a little off our base here on the first show, working out some of the bugs, doing a one-camera shoot because we kind of got stuck with it for the now. But please, come back each week. Join us live from 2 to 4, most of the time from right here at Black Lodge, unless you bring us out to your sets, in which case we'll be out at your set. Join us every week. We'll try to bring out some guests. We'll try to keep on topics, and we'll try to break the show up, maybe have a few segments. Like I said, I'd like to have Matt Martin come out and tell some local filmmakers what films they should see and maybe why they should see it. And I'm going to leave all of the reasons up to him and on his whim that might apply. Coming Friday, we will take this live broadcast.
Sunday.
No, coming Friday.
Okay.
We will reload.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
We're recording what we're broadcasting right now. We will we will upload that to Facebook on Friday evenings, probably after you do your radio blog show for BOCI. We'll probably let you do your talk show and then go live with the recorded shows. So if you come out as a guest, if you see somebody as a guest that you wanted to hear from, or you want to review the information they might have given you, go to the Facebook page for In Frame, and starting next Friday with this episode, you'll be able to see the previous episodes uploaded, and we'll cycle those out over time. Next week, as I said, we're going to be live on the set from Nature of the Beasts, the club scenes for the promo trailer. And the following week, we've got Sam Bear coming out. Sam Bear is a young gentleman that I worked with on Mike McCarthy's Cigarette Girl. He was a production assistant, just out there pulling cables, hauling boxes, and keeping track of props. And since that time, that was, I think, 2007, since that time, he has gone out and made his own film called I Filmed Your Death. And I've seen a test trailer for it. It looks fantastic. I trust Sam. Sam's a great guy, and he's had some interesting talent. And it's funny that we sit here at Black Lodge talking about this because one of the actors that he has in his film, a gentleman named Michael Horse, played Deputy Hawk in Twin Peaks. And my understanding is soon after Sam got home from filming with Mr. Horse, he received a thank you package. And it was one of Michael Horse's copies of one of the Twin Peaks scripts. And he had signed it and sent it to Sam as a thank you for putting him in his movie. So in 2 weeks, on the 20th, we'll have Sam Barron here discussing I Filmed Your Death. On January 27th, 2012, it will be the 12th anniversary of the filming of my first film, The Morning Ritual. And we will have just passed the 19th, of course, which will be the 1-year anniversary on Cold Blooded. And on the evening of the 27th, we will be right here with Fire at the Lodge, where we will screen much of the back catalog of my work as we offer it up on DVDs for the shelves that we have been telling you about incessantly for the last 2 hours. Coming in February, we've got Chad Allen Barton from Piano Man Pictures coming out. He'll talk about Lights, Camera, Bullshit. Hopefully we'll have a trailer for that as well. And we are currently lining up other guests. I have put out a few offers to people I've not yet heard back from, but I'd like to put an all call out to filmmakers, actors, musicians, all of that. Contact us. We'd love to have you on the show. We'll pick a date. We'll set it up. You can give us links. You can give us videos. You can give us songs. Anything you want us to promote, we'll try to find a way to put it on the show like you've been seeing our videos. By that time, we hope to have that all squared away so we are running smoothly and understand the way that the Ustream is going to run our live stream. Additionally, we need a theme song. Marcus Kent Hampson was kind enough to put in the work today to create a little musical opening on Cinescore, correct? And provide us with a little bit of music for our opening titles, but we'd like something regular. We'd like to have something consistent. So we're putting out an all call to any and all musicians. Our opening is 20... You need about 40 seconds? Okay, we need a 40-second piece of music that can be used as the official in-frame theme song, or theme title song. Okay, and well, there you go. A longer piece would be nice so he can cut it and use it for ending credits as well. So if you're a musician, you've got a little bit of time on your hands, we'd love to have you record something, send it to us, and we'll check it out, and we'll look it over and see what we think, and maybe you can be the person who writes our theme song for us. That all said, it looks like we're running down. We've got about 9 minutes. I guess we should probably go into some promotions of things. Let people know what's going on out there, not just with us, but with some other people. Lights, Camera, Bullshit, Chad Allen Barton, as we've been talking about, they still have a couple of weeks of production. I don't know exactly what needs they may have, extra or otherwise, but I believe they are all available on Facebook. Shelby Baldock, Chad Allen Barton, Eric Tate. Find them on Facebook, send them a little message, find out if they need anything. Show them your support. Let them know you want them to make films and that you want to see those films. Jamie Hall's Nature of the Beast, January 13th. You want everybody to be coming out by 3?
Want all the actors and the extras to be there by 3 o'clock. We are having releases that need to be signed by the extras as well, so 3 o'clock, DJ will be there at about 2:30 getting everything set up, and then we're going to have somewhat of a small party while we're filming, and just want everybody to come out and have fun and enjoy themselves while we make this great trailer.
And we will be running the in-frame show from 2 to 4 from that location, so for extras, actors, crew people, all of that, I may be pulling you aside, setting you down in a chair, and conducting a little bit of an on-screen interview and just get your impressions of what it's like to be on one of Jamie Hall's sets, what you're looking forward to. At that point, you won't, of course, have had a lot of experience on the set with him because it won't have started yet, but your anticipations and impressions are important. So we'll pull you out, have you talk a little bit about that, and maybe even promote yourself and some of the things you've done recently and want people to know about. In addition to that, of course, our location. Black Lodge Video at the corner of Cooper and Evelyn in Midtown Memphis. This is the ideal location for anyone who wants to enjoy film, learn about film, or even become a filmmaker of their own. You can come in here and get numerous directors, and you can see their body of work. You can watch special features on the DVDs and see inside information on how they work. You can sit down and have a conversation with Matt Martin and get impressions about local cinema and what makes cinema work and what he likes and wants to see in more films, especially on the independent and local level. All of which can be very important in making you a stronger, better filmmaker, a stronger, better actor. For actors specifically, this place is an absolute must. If you get a role, you come in here and tell Matt Martin the kind of role you have, and he can give you numerous examples of how that type has been played on film. Numerous inspiration points, numerous things to avoid. You know, whether it's Jack Nicholson telling Heath Ledger, be careful about the makeup. Right. It draws you in. He warned him. Or other actors that say, you know, there's these moments where a script isn't quite what it should be. Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner, it's something we've discussed a lot lately as we head towards our acting classes. The speech he gives at the end, where he says that he has seen attack ships on fire off the shores of Orion. And he goes on, and at the end of it, he adds one little phrase, like tears in the rain. All of this will be gone, like tears in the rain. That was not in the script. That's an actor's choice. That is something he learned by getting out into classes, by getting out and working, by getting on sets, by making himself a stronger actor, and really understanding the character he is presenting. That is something that you can only do through classes, work, and study. There are classes in town, as we discussed. Inner Fire on Monday nights, Forrest Pruitt's Indie Acting on Monday nights.
Daniel Martine's
Master Acting on Wednesdays. Again on Thursdays, Forrest Pruitt with Indie Acting. Take classes. Get roles. There are directors in town constantly making movies. Jamie Hall, J. Lazarus Hawk, Arnold Edwards. Throw some at me. Piano Man Pictures, Jim Weeder. There are so many directors in town that it's ridiculous that more of our actors aren't working, because we have a lot of active directors and active filmmakers. So get out there and get parts. And when you have those parts, work them out with your classes, work them out with your coaches. By all means, come to Black Lodge. Tell Matt Martin what your role is and that you want to see how others have portrayed it on screen. And he will find you an example. No matter how good a writer, no matter how good a filmmaker, no one is going to create a character that hasn't been done. And Matt Martin will be able to help you find the numerous examples of those characters and how they have been done. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will do what we can to improve this show on a regular basis. Please send comments, questions, all of that to the Facebook page, Interframe /2013, or Interframe 2013, I think it is, the Facebook page. Send your comments there. Send comments or questions to our email addresses, jlazarushawk@risingfire.com
and filmwarrior@risingfire.com.
We'll be more than happy to answer your questions, and we'll take all of your points into consideration and try and bring you a better production. Thank you for joining us. Send us your links. Help us promote you. See you next week on In Frame, live from the Nature of the Beast promo trailer shoot.
Great panel of professionals that we have here with us today.
I think we influence each other just about who we are and how we act.
There's some very strong studies done through positive psychology that talk a lot about the neuropsychology of enclothement or empowerment through clothing.
We are bringing everyone together. Hi, I'm Sherry Henley with Business Over Coffee. It's great to be with you today and to be with this great panel of professionals that we have here with us today.
I think we influence each other just about who we are and how we act.
There's some very strong studies done through positive psychology that talk a lot about the neuropsychology of enclothement or empowerment through clothing.
We are bringing everyone together. Hi, I'm Sherry Henley, Business